G'day guys and gal. With the Imperium getting sack-tapped on the daily, the only real way to keep them in the game is by bringing back loyalist Primarchs. Without Guilliman's return, the Emperor would be properly dead and the Imperium shattered. Without the Lion's return, I wouldn't be able to make fresh content about him that people love to click on. You can see the importance of their return here. But with both brothers returned, what will happen when they actually meet? Will it be hugs and gags? Will it be civil war because the Lion's hairline has receded? It's a hotly debated question, but after reading the new Lion book, as well as the books regarding the time the brothers spent together during the Horus Heresy, I've got a pretty good idea about how it will all go down. Before we get started, we all have some bad habits. Some of those might even be killing us. So I've partnered up with Fume to give you guys an alternative. Fume is a diffuser device that you suck on and inhale flavored air. It's not vapor or smoke. You're not becoming a vapist by doing this. It's literally just flavored air depending on what flavored core you put into it. The device is non-electrical, uses natural material and doubles as a fiddle device. So if you're really struggling to sit still and work because you need to fiddle, then you've got a little fiddly boy right here. The fact that it's just flavored air, quite delicious actually. It's completely harmless, no nicotine, no smoke or vapor. However, with the motion being the same, it could definitely help supplant and replace some of the obscenely detrimental habits that are plaguing you. Some of the flavors include mint, orange vanilla, raspberry lemonade, white cranberry, and more. My personal favorite is mint because that reminds me of lollies that my grandmother used to give me years ago. So to help destroy some shocking habits, pick up a new fiddle device or just taste yummy air, then head to tryfume.com/Majorkill and use code Majorkill or scan the QR code on screen to get 10% off the Fume Journey pack. Cheers to Fume for sponsoring this video. Today we will go over what will happen when Guilliman and the Lion meet, as well as how they would actually meet. After all, I'm pretty sure they're on other sides of the galaxy right now, dealing with some pretty serious stuff. Let's get into it. To understand how the meeting would go down, we first got to understand who Guilliman and the Lion are, what their goals are, what their relationship is like, and how they have changed. Guilliman is all about common sense, teamwork, thinking ahead, preparing for every situation and outcome. The Lion, especially the younger version of the Lion, lacked a few of these. He was very secretive, a straight up liar, and did some pretty dumb shit because he thought he knew best and he hated people questioning him. He lied to Guilliman about Conrad Curse being on his ship, which nearly resulted in absolute calamity. He gave Perturabo overpowered siege guns that he had just busted his balls taking from Horus because he was too dumb to realize that other Primarchs, especially bitchy ones like Perty, could have also fallen. He punched the head off one of his most loyal and powerful sons because he disagreed with the Lion's orders. He abandoned Caliban and allowed it to fall to corruption by randomly banishing some of his best warriors for no apparent reason, which in turn then ended up with him being in a 10,000-year coma. The man made mistakes, but the new Lion has changed. He realizes that he was a stupid asshole that could have avoided a lot of problems if he just took the time to think and reflect, if he controlled his temper instead of lashing out, if he listened to others. I mean, he still gets shitty when people talk back to him or don't want to gargle his balls, but he controls it now and doesn't let his emotions or impulses control him. He is embarrassed with how damaging his secrecy was, vowing to be more open and honest. Literally, the first thing he did when he returned to the setting was say, "The Lion is back, bitches, and he's here to fuck." Not quite a direct one-to-one translation, but you get my point. He's also a lot more forgiving, allowing any and all fallen Dark Angels to return to him and be redeemed as long as they are free from chaotic corruption. He is still very much the Lion, and he still gets pissy at the same things and still holds many of the same opinions, but now he also has critical thinking. Now he knows that he can be a dipshit sometimes, so he works to control it. As a part of his redemption for previous failures, all he now wants to do is protect mankind, not rule or use it. He wants to be its guardian. Guilliman, on the other hand, hasn't had as dramatic a character arc because fundamentally, he was pretty solid to begin with. He was logical, compassionate, loyal, and brave. He didn't allow his temper to control him and he controlled his impulses. Sure, he has changed, but the changes haven't really been for the better. He has gotten weary, depressed, and a bit more desperate. Just as the Black Legion is pushed back, Ultramar gets attacked by Mortarion. Just as Mortarion is defeated, the Silent King returns and starts fucking shit up. Just as the Silent King is kind of contained, Leviathan attacks the galaxy from every angle and starts consuming Imperial worlds close to Terra. Dude cannot catch a fucking break. To make matters worse, the Imperium he is trying so hard to protect is a superstitious, hateful place, the opposite of what the Imperium he was trying to protect was intended to be. Despite this, Guilliman is tenacious. His depression is nothing compared to his will, so he fights on and he fights hard. He misses his brothers, mostly Sanguinius, because you know it's fucking Sanguinius, and he would be overjoyed to get any of them back. even the lion. Before we discuss how they would meet, let's look at their relationship before the lion's coma. Guilliman felt a bit insecure around the lion. It was clear that the lion had a bit more gravitas and was looked up to more. It also didn't help that the lion was slightly taller than G-Man. He held a lot of respect for the lion, but he didn't particularly like him. The two nearly came to blows on multiple occasions and often disagreed during Imperium Secundus. After all, Guilliman was the one that snapped the lion's sword over his knee. In return, the lion didn't really like Guilliman. When he arrived at Macragge during the heresy, he was prepared to launch a full-scale invasion if he believed that Guilliman was taking advantage of the heresy to declare himself the new ruler of the Imperium. However, despite their disagreements, the two learnt to respect each other deeply. The lion saw Guilliman's logic behind Imperium Secundus and agreed with it, whilst Guilliman declared the lion as the Lord Protector. So there was respect, but despite that, no, they never really liked each other that much. Even Old Man Lion said some pretty nasty shit about Guilliman when he heard that the Lord of Ultramar had divided the legions, including the Dark Angels, into smaller chapters. This is mature Zen Lion, not brash young Lion, so you can see that they aren't exactly BFFs. However, they did end on good terms when they last saw each other. So how would the two legends of myth meet? Well, it kinda depends. They were actually very close to each other at one point, when Guilliman came to Bul to save the Blood Angels and gave them Primaris reinforcements. He was actually quite close to where the lion woke up and started creating his own protectorate in Imperium Nihilus, the side of the Imperium where the Astronomicon no longer shines. We know this since the first non-Dark Angel Space Marines that the Lion meets after waking up were the Blood Angels led by Dante, the chapter master of the Blood Angels. Dante had literally just hung out with Guilliman a few years prior. However, I am pretty sure that Guilliman has returned to Imperium Sanctus in order to combat the growing Necron threat as well as the new Tyranid threat, so it does make their meeting a bit challenging. For the Lion, he just banished Angron, but the Red Man only stays down for a short period of time, while the Lion then continues to grow his protectorate and defend Imperium Nihilus. Guilliman is busy as fuck dealing with the Necrons and Tyranids, with the Nids being set up as the big bads for 10th edition after Chaos's recent string of victories. However, not all hope is lost. The Lion can do hectic, logic-defying teleportation now, allowing himself to forest walk across massive distances across space, bypassing a lot of cringe shit like warp storms and demons. He's a lot more mobile and available at the moment, with Imperium Nihilus having Dante to take care of it as well, so I anticipate that Guilliman is going to go up against the fuck-off huge Tyranid force, which may or may not include the new rumored Tyranid superorganism, as well as the Swarm Lord and the Norn Emissary and all other kinds of unfun shit. Guilliman will be losing with his escape cut off. Things will be looking grim. He faces down a Tyranid onslaught charging at his position, himself surrounded by his final warriors as they prepare to give their life for a last stand. As he accepts his fate, he receives a signal. At first one, then many. To his shock and surprise, the Lion strides forth out of seemingly nowhere at the host of thousands of Dark Angels, both unforgiven and redeemed. At a similar time, the sky will light up with the mega cannons of the Rock as it tears into the Tyranid High Fleet. Literally picture the scene from Avengers Endgame, where Captain America is about to get stomped on, but then all the portals and shit appear. Then Avengers assemble and then they charge. It'd be like that. There isn't time for words. The two brothers look at each other in amazement, before looking at the onrushing horde. They are still outnumbered 100 to 1, but it doesn't matter. Two loyal Primarchs have taken the field together for the first time in 10,000 years. They meet the charge head on, Guilliman and the Lion at the spear tip. The Dark Angel Terminator divisions lay down an obscene blanket of fire, faltering the Tyranid charge before it gets smashed aside. The Swarm Lord is torn apart by the blade work of both Primarchs working together. The Norn Emissary leaps at the Lion, keen to taste the blood of a Primarch, only to find itself limbless and disemboweled within seconds. In all its billions of years of consumption and destruction, the hive mind has never encountered something that would swing a sword that fast and accurate. As it lays squirming, Guilliman finishes off the beast with his blade through its skull. In mere moments, the Tyranids have lost its greatest champion and its greatest synapse creature. Orbitable fire rains down, targeting more synapse creatures as the Rock tears apart bioships like they are nothing. Fuck it, while we're at it, Logan Grimnar and his Space Wolves arrive, adding their fury to the fire and giving us a long overdue Space Wolf and Lion meeting. The Tyranids are crushed, with the Tyranid superorganism, if it even exists, being taken down after a hectic 2v1 boss fight against the loyal Primarchs. As the battle wraps up, Guilliman faces the Lion, overjoyed but worried. Guilliman had placed himself as the Lord of the Imperium and Master of everything, something that the Lion previously would have killed him for. Guilliman begins to explain, to apologize for the state of the Imperium, to discuss the necessary of him taking control, how he is beginning to hand off his authority to others and that he doesn't want to be Emperor. He rambles until the Lion, who had remained quiet and motionless during it, removes his helmet. Guilliman falls silent, shocked by how much his brother has aged. The Lion says, "It is okay, Roboute. It is okay." The Lion steps forward and clasps Guilliman's shoulder guard. "I am proud of you, brother. You need not bear this burden alone any longer. You wield our father's sword and it burns with his power, his approval. I trust you, Roboute." In that moment, the decades of fighting mankind's wars alone, raging against the dying light, and the constant depression finally caught up with him. Guilliman's facade of confidence and unwavering dedication melted away. Roboute Guilliman, Lord of the Imperium, falls to his knees before the Lion and says, "Thank you, brother. I have been alone for so long." The two would then unite their strength, share their knowledge, and fight the galaxy's wars together, giving mankind a chance in this dark, fucked up galaxy. So no, there would be no civil war, no fight, no brother versus brother. The Lion is way beyond that foolishness and just wishes to protect mankind. Guilliman also wields the Emperor's sword, the Emperor's stamp of approval, just like how the Emperor's shield is the Lion's stamp. He would see the weariness in Guilliman, a weariness he himself feels. He would know that Guilliman is just doing his best, plus the fact that the Lion has spoken in depth with Dante, a dude who met Guilliman and knows what is going on, which means the Lion would actually be quite well informed about the state of the galaxy and Guilliman's plans and motives, so he would know that this isn't just some power-hungry G-Man taking advantage of the situation. I predict that together, G-Man and the Lion will be able to turn the tide, beating back the Silent King, stopping Leviathan, and reconnecting Sanctus to Nihilus. It'll basically put the Imperium back in a good position to deal with the next big threat, probably from another Traitor Primarch's return, or the consequences of Chaos's Arcs of Omen victory, or even something else. Maybe from the Orcs. However, I would love it for Ghazghkull to be the one to take on Angron and keep him busy while Guilliman and the Lion sort out the Necrons and Tyranids. But overall, the meeting would be a positive and quite wholesome affair. After all, the Imperium can't afford a civil war between the Lion and Guilliman. It would end the setting a lot faster than Abaddon or a bunch of hungry space bugs of death. If you enjoyed the video and you want to support the channel, then Patreon is the place to be, where we've just uploaded some new very high quality sexy Warhammer artworks for only $1. Hit the subscribe button and hit the real subscribe button for more reuniting content. Join the Discord for more memes and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.